Hey, guys and gals. Welcome. This is a overview for a mod I ported called Iskallium Reactors Renewed. Now, there's photos up there, but I figured I'd go over and showcase some stuff to just kind of give you more information on it. Now, I'm going to start from the beginning for what you need to find to be able to even start making a reactor, and that's Iskallium Essence. To find Iskallium Essence, you need to look for Iskallium ore. Iskallium ore is very, very rare. How rare is it? You can only find one vein per 10 chunks for deep slate, and one vein per 11 chunks for stone. Now, and a vein can range from 1 to 3, I do believe. Now, for those who, and I think it's configurable. It's been a week since I've messed with the code. So forgive me if I get some things kind of vague, because some of them I just kind of blew through, added it in, and then moved on to the next thing. And so, even though it's been like a week since I've uploaded the mod and finished the mod for porting, it's probably been longer. It's probably been longer since I've touched some of the stuff, because the last thing I really messed with was the create edition, which that is in this mod. But I'll talk about that more in a bit. But when you find it, you'll find up to 3, I think, by default. And I think I do believe it's configurable as well. There's a config option. I just don't know if it's like ups the lower and upper thing. So it's like by default it's 1 to 3, and when you adjust the config option, it makes it like 2 to 6 or whatever. Not, keeps the spread range, but ups the total numbers. I can't remember what I did with that exactly, which is what I'm having a hard time remembering. And when you mine it, it drops kind of like lapis, so it'll drop, a handful of the essence per block, and it is affected by fortune as well as affected by silk touch. It mines at the speed of iron ore, and the effective tool is pickaxe, so yeah. I don't know if that was in the original. If it wasn't, then that's new. Now, once you get 9, you'll need a minimum of 10 essence. So once you get 10 essence, you can make your first reactor. And what you'll need, bare minimum, to make your first reactor is you will need a controller block, a steel block, you don't need glass, Iskallium block, and a power tap. Or alternatively, if you're doing create, you'll need a rotational power tap. Now, once you have these, you build your reactor. It's pretty easy. The smallest reactor you can build is a 3x3. I'm going to go ahead and build one of those. I'll go ahead and build a... That is another addition. Both the power tap and the control panel has a GUI now. That was not in the original. And boom. Now we have a valid reactor. Now, for those who don't know Iskallium reactors, this is a passive power generation mod. So this will produce 160 FE a tick from now till forever. And yeah, and it produces that amount per Iskallium block. So if I look at this one has 4 blocks, and it is 4 times the amount. Now this GUI, as you can kind of see from that one down there, will tell you when things are broken. I noticed that there was a small issue. That's what it is. So what you're seeing right there is this this mod, I made one addition to it, and that is to make it so that you can do, well, this. And how that works is when you build a reactor and it gets fully built, it registers the 8 corners of the reactor and then claims every block inside that corner's error or whatnot as its reactor. And then it saves those 8 corners to the controller. And so what that does, and then when you place down another reactor, so if I were to build another one, what it does is the what's it called? The controller will, if it sees another controller in the reactor space, right, it will check to see if it has a cached 8 corners. If it does, it's like, okay, I don't touch those blocks. Those aren't my blocks. Okay, boom. And when you break the middle section right here, or this middle section right here, it is assumed you're expanding the reactor. So if you were to go to expand it, you would obviously want to, if you're like just keeping the same height, you would break this wall, this, and this wall to extend it that way. You know, if you were expanding it to just make it bigger overall, you'd probably break this section, you know, you'd break 3 faces instead of 1. But no matter how you do it, these 3 corner blocks on all sides, one of them will be broken when you go to expand the reactor. So it assumes if you break all 3, it will recalculate this and start rescanning for the thing. And it does that so that every time you break a block, it doesn't have to rescan the entirety of the reactor every time. So it takes the cache thing, the cache for 8 corners, and just reuses that as its thing, which is a lot simpler and a lot nicer, and it makes it so that it conflicts way less with constructing reactors next to each other, because it doesn't need to rescan. It just, you know, checks to see. It just, yeah. Okay, so let's stop jibber-jabbering on that and start talking about some other stuff. Okay, let's talk. And the specific thing I want to talk about is, some of you may have noticed this glass right here looks a little odd. And that is because there's now a tinted variant of the Iskallium glass. So this one and this one, boom, yeah, neat. And there's a tinted variant is if I go to nighttime, set time midnight, and set this down. Oh. Wait. Oh no, it's doing that. It is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's just hard to see. I think I might have made the light level a little too low by default. But it produces light. Ever so slightly produces light. I think I might need to up the light level. Either that or I'm just having issues seeing it. Anywho, it produces light, and sometimes that will be not what you want, and you want to control the lighting. So there's a slightly darker color of Iskallium glass that's tinted that prevents light from coming through. And then obviously the snake in the room. I forgot the analogy. Oh, the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, they create compatibility. Now, there's no right-click GUI for that. I figured there was no point, because if you're playing with Create, you're going to be wanting to use Create stuff, yada yada. But I can tell you the specs. So, the specs for the Create stuff is pretty simple. It rotates at a configurable 64 RPM. So if you want it slower or faster, you can configure it. And it scales the blocks for SU. So one block is 128 SU, and it goes up from there. And it is configurable how much SU is produced. By default, it bases it, it's a percentage of the FE. And by default, that is 80%. So the SU produced is 80% of the FE. Now, quirks of the thing to note is that the power tap can go on any face anywhere. So you can place it right here if you wanted. It functions just fine. Obviously, this counts as one generator, so even if you do two like this, they both consume the same SU. It doesn't stack. The controller can be placed on any face that isn't a corner, and any part of the face in those corners. God dang it. Oh my fucking man. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, any face that isn't the corners and isn't the center top faces in steel. So to build that out to showcase where you can't place the blocks, it in this build right here. Boop, 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 boop. So where you cannot put the controller is here. So these blocks cannot have the controller in them. And the pure reason why that is I was lazy and I didn't want to make it so you could place it anywhere. I didn't want to make it so that it could scan from anywhere. So yeah. It can only scan from the faces that are not here. And for those who are curious, the complete outer shell, so down here, needs to be steel blocks. So this setup right here, what you see right there, those have to be steel. The center bits right here, as you can kind of see in there, can be steel, glass, or tinted glass. And yeah, it's pretty compatible. Like, I have Flex Networks, and I tested with Immersive Engineering. As long as the mod is compatible with FE, it should be compatible. I'm thinking of possibly adding in additional compatibility with other mods. So, for example, let's say Embers Rekindled, making it so it produces embers. I don't know. I'm still debating on that. It'd be something I do in the future, though. If there's any additions you'd like me to add, let me know. There's tons of config options. You can config lots of stuff. The config options I will point out real quick are there's a config option called Use Blast Furnace Steel Recipe. And what that does is if you set it to true, it disables the crafting recipe of 8 iron around a coal block and enables a blast furnace recipe of sticking iron in there and smelting the iron into steel. And the other notable one, unless you're a mod pack creator, is Iskallium or slime sound. And essentially what that is that's a personal gripe of mine, and that is Iskallium. Wait, is it Iskallium more? Oh yeah, whoops. I must have added that in before I changed the internals. Because internally I changed it from Iskallium or what it was to Iskallium Essence Block. I left external names to the same, so if I go F3H, you can see it says Iskallium Essence Block. I was getting tired because it was really confusing, constantly trying to talk about the ore, but then there's like, because this said Iskallium ore, this is Iskallium stone ore, this is Iskallium deep slate ore, and having 3 different ore blocks that just, yeah, anyway. When you turn that on, it makes the place and break sounds and all the interaction sounds be slime block. Because currently, it's stone. I really don't like that personally. Whenever I'm playing with it outside of this showcase, I'm going to have it on slime. Because it looks like a slime block. It interacts like a slime block. For all intents and purposes, it should sound like slime. But I left it defaulting stone because that is how the original had it, and I wanted it so that if you're a player who used the original and you like the sound of the stone sounds, you can play with the stone sounds. Okay. Well, that's it. Ciao.